Let's begin by offering our respects to ISKCON founder Acharya and our preeminent Shiksha Guru, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swa Padantikam Vande Ham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Vancha Kalpa Taruvyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Okay, we welcome all of you to our weekly Krishna book classes. Thank you very much for joining. We have with us here Aja, Devina, Divya. Then we have Gokul Priya Devidasi Mataji. We have Kamala Nandini Mataji. We have Karuna, Lavina Dadlani, Meenakshi. We have NC Venkatchari, Naresh Budrani, Auntie Nita's there. Then we have PT Alamelu, my husband is there. Then we have Ritu Lalwani, Shailesh Latkar, Shivani, Shreya Kalaria, Swapna Latkar, Upasna Dalai, Vamika, Vidya Ashwin, and Vivansh. Okay. So in the previous class, we saw which Leela?
Damodar Leela.
We saw the Damodar Leela. So in this Damodar Leela, we saw the transcendental competition. No, we saw the transcendental competition between Mother Yashoda and Krishna, between Bhagavan and Bhakta. So in this transcendental competition between Mother Yashoda and Krishna, we saw how both of them, both parties were very insistent. No, Mother Yashoda was insistent that she must tie up Krishna because she wants to train her child. Krishna is her child, and she wants to train him. She wants to discipline him. So she's insistent that she wants to tie Krishna. And Krishna is insistent that I do not want to be tied up, because if Krishna is going to be tied up, how is Krishna going to go and play? No, so he wants to go and play. He wants to be naughty, and Mother Yashoda wants to discipline him. So both parties are very insistent in this Leela we saw. And Mother Yashoda is actually on an impossible task because she wants to bind that personality who is Ananta, who is unlimited. How can you bind someone who is unlimited? No. She brings all the ropes in the house, and then she brings all the ropes from the neighboring houses. All the ropes in town are brought in, and they are tied up together. And Krishna's waist is not expanding. It's not that Krishna has expanded and he's showing his universal form or something like that. No, he's still a small child. His waist is still the same size, but the length of the ropes is increasing, but still she is not able to bring the ropes together. And the acharyas explain how when Mother Yashoda is trying to bind Krishna and she's bringing the ropes together, what is happening is Krishna's energies, his shaktis are manifesting. No, we discussed how previously Krishna's Satya Sankalpa Shakti prevented Yashoda from seeing dust or dirt in his mouth, and therefore Mother Yashoda saw the universal form. We discussed this previously. So again here, Krishna's Sankalpa Shakti is manifesting. And his other Shaktis are also manifesting because Krishna's Shaktis do not want that their Lord is tied down, is bound up. No? And Krishna doesn't want to be bound up. So therefore, the Satya Sankalpa Shakti prevents Mother Yashoda from bringing the ropes together. And also other Shaktis, like for example, Krishna's one energy is his fame, no? His fame. So Krishna's energy of fame is saying that, oh, if my Lord is bound up, then what will happen to his fame? He will become infamous, no? He will be defeated. So therefore, they don't want, these Shaktis do not want that Krishna is bound to the mota. So although Krishna's waist is of the same size, all these Shaktis are manifesting, and therefore, Mother Yashoda is unable to bring the ropes together. But then eventually, one Shakti of Krishna manifests, after which all these other Shaktis, they disappear, they leave, they depart. What is that one Shakti? That one Shakti, that one energy is Krishna's mercy potency, Krishna's Kripa Shakti. So as soon as the Kripa Shakti manifests, then all these other energies, they leave. And Krishna is giving his mercy to Mother Yashoda, and therefore ultimately she is able to bring the ropes together. So we also saw what is the meaning of these two fingers, because the rope was falling short every time by 2 inches or 2 fingers. So we discussed what is the meaning of these 2 fingers. What is the meaning of these 2 fingers? Who can say?
First is mercy and then second is surrender.
First is actually endeavor. First we should have our endeavor, our effort, and then Krishna's mercy will manifest. So yes, endeavor is very, very important on the part of the devotees. We have to try. And how much we have to try? How much did Mother Yashoda try? Did she try for a few moments and then said, okay, I tried, I put in my effort, I did my endeavor? No. You have to have enough endeavor, because she was really endeavoring. She did her best, no? So endeavor is important, but there should be enough endeavor, not just a little bit of endeavor. And another thing this endeavor requires is very, very important that in this endeavor there should be bhakti, there should be devotion in that endeavor. Because if there is no devotion, there is no bhakti in the endeavor, then Krishna will not be attracted. Krishna is attracted by bhakti. So in our endeavors, we should have bhakti, and plus there should be enough endeavor from our side. And then the second finger is, of course, Krishna's mercy. So when there is enough endeavor with bhakti, then Krishna will give us his mercy. So we saw how, His Holiness Bhanuswami Maharaj, I was reading one of his lectures, and he was explaining how, first of all, it's very rare that anyone can see Bhagavan, anyone can see God, right? Only devotees can see Bhagavan. Now, to have Vatsalya Rasa for Bhagavan is even more rare. Then, now Bhagavan, when we say Bhagavan, it includes Krishna and it includes his plenary portions as well, like Narsimha Dev, Vamana Dev. They are also Bhagavan, right? They are the plenary portions. So they are also referred to as Bhagavan. But to have Vatsalya Ras for Krishna is even more rare, Maharaj explains. And what we see between Yashoda and Krishna is the most intense, because Vatsalya Ras for Krishna in Vrindavan is even more rare. And in Vrindavan also, what Mother Yashoda has for Krishna is the rarest of the rare Vatsalya Ras, or that mellow that she is sharing with Krishna. So therefore, this Vatsalya Ras between Mother Yashoda and Krishna is the most intense relation that you can find. There is Vatsalya Ras. For example, see, Maharaj explains that there are other forms of the Lord. For example, Lord Vishnu. Now, Lord Vishnu doesn't have a mother or a father. He does not have mother or father in Vaikuntha planets. No, in Vaikuntha planets, the Lord is residing in this four-handed Narayan form, in Vishnu form. So Vishnu doesn't have a mother or a father there. So there is no Vatsalya pastime over there. Then Varahadev also, he came from the nostril of Lord Brahma. But we don't refer to Lord Brahma as the mother or the father of Varahadev. So, like this, in the other forms of the Lord, there is no Vatsalya pastimes. Of course, there are some other forms of the Lord, like Lord Ramachandra and Lord Vamanadev also. There is some Vatsalya Ras. They do have parents, right? But the intensity of the Vatsalya Ras that is there for Lord Ramachandra or Vamanadev with their parents is not as intense as the Vatsalya Ras that there is between Mother Yashoda and Krishna. So this is the most intense rasa. And when the rasa is so intense, then Krishna comes under the control of his devotee. Then that personality who is undefeatable, who is Ajita, then he is defeated. Okay. So today, by the mercy of Sri Guru and Sri Krishna, we will see part 2 of this Damodar Leela. Yes, Shailesh, you have your hand raised?
Just wanted to ask, why do you think that the Vatsalya Ras between Sri Ramchandra and Krishna is not on the same level?
So it is most intense between Krishna and Yashoda. If you see the Leelas of Lord Ramachandra, yes, he has a very loving relationship with his mother, no doubt. But it is not as intense. See, it's not even described by in our Shastras. The childhood pastimes of Lord Ram is not so elaborately described also as compared to the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Because it's not so intense as is of Krishna. See, Lord Ram is not Leela Purushottam. Lord Ram is Maryada Purushottam. Every incarnation comes with a certain mission, right? So Lord Ram came to establish the principles of he taught by his own example how one should follow dharma. No, he's Maryada Purushottam Ram. But Krishna, he's Leela Purushottam, so his Leelas are unparalleled. Not only Vatsalya Ras, but any, even if you take Madhurya Ras, it's unparalleled. So Krishna's Leelas are unparalleled. So therefore, even his Vatsalya Ras is the most intense compared to that of Lord Ram. Okay. So today we will be seeing the second part of this Damodar Leela, chapter 10 from the Krishna book, titled The Deliverance of Nalakūvara and Maṇigrīva. Let's see. The story of the cursing of Nalakūvara and Maṇigrīva and their deliverance by Krishna under the all-blissful desire of the great sage Narada is here described. So who is Narada Muni? He is the son of
Lord Brahma.
He is the son of Lord Brahma, no? And what does that name Narada mean?
Who gives
Who the master of all senses.
No.
No.
El que da.
Who,
Yes.
who gives
Who gives
In
what?
case of
deliverance?
basically, I think I don't know. Maybe
Who
he
gives the
gives
name
what?
of Narayan?
Wisdom, knowledge, wisdom.
Narayan. Who said that?
I didn't.
Very good. Full marks. See, Nara and Narada, Nara means Narayan and Da means to give. So Narada Muni is that personality who gives the Lord to the others. So he is a preacher, no? He delivers. He has so many stalwart disciples and he gives the Lord, he gives Narayan to the others. So in this case also we'll see how by the mercy of Narada, Nalakūvara and Maṇigrīva are delivered. The two great demigods, Nalakūvara and Maṇigrīva, were sons of the treasurer of the demigods, Kuvera, who was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. By the grace of Lord Shiva, Kuvera's material opulences had no limit. As a rich man's sons often become addicted to wine and women, so these two sons of Kuvera were also addicted to wine and sex. Once these two demigods, desiring to enjoy, entered the garden of Lord Shiva in the province of Kailasha on the bank of the Mandakini Ganges. There they drank much and engaged in hearing the sweet singing of the beautiful women who accompanied them in that garden of fragrant flowers. In an intoxicated condition, the two demigods entered the water of the Ganges, which was filled with lotus flowers, and there they began to enjoy the company of young girls, exactly as a male elephant enjoys female elephants within the water. So, Nalakūvara and Maṇigrīva were the sons of Kuvera, who was the treasurer of the demigods, and they are intoxicated. They are in the Ganges water, but they are not dressed appropriately and they are enjoying in that water with wine and women. Normally, people go to the Ganges to wash themselves of the sins, but these two personalities, they are performing sinful activities in the Ganges. So they are intoxicated. While they were thus enjoying themselves in the water, all of a sudden Narada, the great sage, happened to pass that way. He could understand that the demigods Nalakūvara and Maṇigrīva were too much intoxicated and could not even see that he was passing. The young girls, however, were not so much intoxicated as the demigods, and they at once became ashamed at being naked before the great sage Narada. They began to cover themselves with all haste. The two demigod sons of Kuvera were so much intoxicated that they could not appreciate the presence of the sage Narada, and therefore they did not cover their bodies. On seeing the two demigods so degraded by intoxication, Narada desired their welfare and therefore he exhibited his causeless mercy upon them by cursing them. So see, Narada Muni is passing by and they are so intoxicated that they don't receive him, they don't greet them, they don't offer him respects as one should to a great sage. So Narada Muni now curses them. Now his cursing is his causeless mercy. See, he is not cursing them because his ego is hurt. Narada Muni is not expecting that you have to give me respect, no. But he is showing them his mercy and therefore he is cursing them. So when great personalities, when devotees, when Vaishnavas, when gurus curse, then that is also for our well-being. That is also for our spiritual well-being. Because the great sage was compassionate upon them, he wanted to finish their false enjoyment of intoxication and association with young girls and wanted them to see Lord Kṛṣṇa face to face. He conceived of cursing them as follows. He said that the attraction for material enjoyment is due to an increase in the mode of passion. A person in the material world, when favored by the material opulence of riches, generally becomes addicted to three things: intoxication, sex, and gambling. Materially opulent men, being puffed up with the accumulation of wealth, also become so merciless that they indulge in killing animals by opening slaughterhouses. And they think that they themselves will never die. Such foolish persons, forgetting the laws of nature, become overly infatuated with the body. They forget that the material body, even though very much advanced in civilization, up to the position of the demigods, will finally turn into ashes or stool. And while one is living, Whatever the external condition of the body may be, within there is only stool, urine, and various kinds of worms. So Narada Muni is saying that these two personalities, they are on the bodily concept of life. They are on the bodily concept of life. They have forgotten their real position. They have forgotten their constitutional position, that they are eternally the servants of God. They are eternally the servants of Krishna. And they are engaged in these sense gratificatory activities. So they are on the bodily concept of life. And here we are seeing how, because these foolish people are so infatuated with the body, they are forgetting that this body will finally turn into ashes or stool. When will the body turn into ashes?
When they
When
die.
we die.
When you die and the body is burnt, it turns into ashes. And then when does it convert into stool?
For the worms.
Uh-huh. So when the body is buried, then the body is eaten by the worms, and then the worms pass the stool, no? So the body is converted into stool. So no matter whether you burn or bury the body, does not matter. Finally, this body is going to turn into ashes or stool. And no matter how the whatever the external condition of the body may be, whether one is the most beautiful, the richest, the most intelligent, does not matter. Whatever may be the external condition of the body, within there is only stool, urine, and various kinds of forms. So, say, for example, when we go to purchase a computer, no, externally it may look, the laptop may have a very nice, attractive color, and the layout of the keys may be very beautiful, or whatever, no, it may be very attractive from the outside. But we want to know what is inside, what is the processor, what is the speed, what is the RAM, no, what is the hard disk memory. So these are the internals of the laptop when we go to purchase one. So we know how good is something when we know how it is from the inside. And this body, how much ever we decorate and beautify it from the outside, inside it is only filled with stool, urine, and various kinds of worms. What is it that comes out of the body? We have 9 openings in the body, we discussed now. This body is called as a city of 9 gates. So what is it that is coming out of the openings? From the eyes, tears, no, hot tears. Then from the ears, we have this wax. From the nose, we have mucus coming out. From the mouth, it's saliva. Then there is stool and urine. So all kinds of obnoxious things only are coming out of this body. So this body, this material body, is a poor deal that we accepted, unfortunately. So what can we do to rectify the situation is use this body in the service of Krishna. That's how we can rectify this situation. Thus, being engaged in jealousy and violence to other bodies, materialists cannot understand the ultimate goal of life, and without knowing this goal of life, they generally glide down to a hellish condition in their next life. Such foolish persons commit all kinds of sinful activities on account of the temporary body, and they are even unable to consider whether the body actually belongs to them. Generally, it is said that the body belongs to the persons who feed it. One might therefore consider whether the body belongs to one personally or to the master to whom one renders service. The master of slaves claims full right to the bodies of the slaves because the master feeds the slaves. It may also be questioned whether the body belongs to the father, who is the seed giving master of the body, or to the mother who develops the child's body in her womb. So the question is, whom does this body belong to? The body that we tend to use in sense gratification, that Maṇigrīva and Nalakūvara are using in their own sense gratification. Actually, the body belongs to whom is the question that is being raised here. No, does the body belong to the master? Does the body belong to the father? Does the body belong to the mother? Okay, Shailesh, you have your hand raised.
I have two questions right now. One is that the demigods would know better than us normal mortals, right? I mean, they they know all this. A mere mortal can be, maybe ignorant, and he may not know all this, but demigods know all this, and then why would someone knowingly push themselves to suffer a hellish life in the future? That is the first question. And second thing is, do demigods have a body, or because they're in Swargalok? How does it?
Yeah, so see, coming to your first question, they know, right? They have the knowledge theoretically, but because they have so much facility for sense gratification that sometimes they get carried away. So this is what happened with Nalakūvara and Maṇigrīva. They know, theoretically they know. Like just as how a chain smoker theoretically knows that it's smoking is injurious to health, but still he cannot control his senses. So these demigods, because they have so much facility to enjoy, especially Nalakūvara and Maṇigrīva, because they are the sons of the treasurer of the demigods, so there is a tendency that they get carried away. Okay. That's what excessive material facilities can do to us. Then second question of yours, demigods, yes, they have a material body, and that's the reason why they are still in the material world. Even Swarga Loka, all these 14 planetary systems, right up to Brahma Loka, which is the highest planet, this is still the material world only. So as long as one is in the material world, material body only we have, including the Devatas, including even Lord Brahma. Because if we don't have a material body, then we are in the spiritual world. We are in either Goloka or Vaikuntha planets. Okay.
Okay, because I thought that if you have to go to Swargaloka, only your soul can go there, not your body. So I had that.
No,
misconception.
even the Devatas, Swargaloka, they also have material bodies. They are also subject to birth and death. That's why Lord Brahma, after 100 years, then his lifetime comes to an end. Spiritual, the soul, the lifetime doesn't come to an end.
Also, does this have something to do with a concept that you explained earlier, that if you go to Swargaloka, then all the good deeds that you have performed, they get consumed in the bhog, and then you have to go back to having to continue the cycle of existence.
See, yes, when we are in the earthly plane, then we are collecting karma, okay?
Yes.
But now let's say we have done a lot of piety and we have a lot of good karma, and then therefore we are promoted to the spirit to the heavenly planets. In the heavenly planets, we are given all these facilities to enjoy. Unlimited facility to enjoy is there. But those unlimited facilities to enjoy will last only as long as I have those pious credits. So once my pious credits run out, then I don't have to necessarily come back again here. I can also be promoted to the spiritual world, provided in the heavenly planets I do bhakti. Because bhakti does not, there are no conditions. Bhakti is sarvatra, sarvada. It can be performed anytime, any place, anywhere, under any circumstances. So if one in the Swarga Loka performs bhakti and enough bhakti, then he can be also promoted to the spiritual world. He doesn't have to necessarily come back. But if he does not do bhakti, then yes, he has to again take another material body.
So theoretically speaking, this might be a case of something like where the piety matlab, has been crossed. So the level of piety that the demigods had was crossed, I suppose.
What do you mean by crossed? I don't understand.
Means what you were saying, right? You can have piety when you're on the earthly plane. Then when you go to the Swargaloka, you usually go to you have all those pleasures that you consume, and that eats up your piety.
Yes.
So perhaps this is a case wherein the piety was all eaten up, and hence they had to go back
No.
to.
In the case of Nalakūvara and Maṇigrīva, it's not that their piety was eaten up. They would have perhaps enjoyed for even more extended periods of time. But what happened here is they have received the mercy of a pure devotee called Narada. So when a devotee of the Lord gives you the mercy, then these rules can be overwritten. Kṛṣṇa and his pure devotees can override the rules of the game for his devotee. So here they have received the causeless mercy of Narada, and therefore their destiny has changed. Okay. Yeah, Shreya, you have your hand raised.
Yes, Mataji. So when we go to the heavenly planets, do we get like a different material body or only like this material body which we have in?
You
We
get
go-
a demigod. You get a demigod body. The demigod body has more facility to enjoy, has more potencies, has more powers. Demigods have more potencies than we human beings, right? So you get a demigod body, but still that body is a material body.
Okay, and then we still remember that we have to practice bhakti and all, right?
That knowledge is always there. Doesn't matter whether we are on the earthly plane or in the heavenly planets, because the knowledge is always there. But we may or may not remember. We may forget, because when one has unlimited facility to enjoy, then one may forget Krishna, like how Nalakūvara and Maṇigrīva have forgotten. So we may or may not remember, but the knowledge is available, always available.
Okay, and we forget like our birth, right? The last birth.
Yes, the previous births, the Lord does not allow us to remember. Only in few rare cases, by special arrangement, the Lord may allow you to remember. But generally, the general rule is we do not remember our past births.
Okay.
Can I ask you something,
Yes,
Mataji?
Aja.
So when we have if we have demigod bodies, do we also have 4 hands or everything?
Okay, four-handed Narayan form. The residents of Vaikunta have the same form as Lord Narayan in Vaikunta planets. In the demigod body, it depends. It depends on which devata, which demigod, what kind of body.
Oh,
Not necessarily the four-handed only.
okay.
Okay. Foolish persons are engaged in committing all sorts of sins due to the misconception of identifying the material body with the self. But one should be intelligent enough to understand to whom the body belongs. A foolish person indulges in killing animals to maintain the body, but he does not consider whether the body belongs to him or to his father or mother or maternal grandfather. Sometimes a father gives his daughter in charity to a person with a view of getting back the daughter's child as a son. The body may also belong to a stronger man who forces it to work for him. Sometimes a slave's body is sold to a master, and from that day on, the body belongs to the master. And at the end of life, the body belongs to the fire, because the body is given to the fire and burned to ashes, or the body is thrown into the street to be eaten by the dogs and vultures. Before committing all kinds of sins to maintain the body, one should understand to whom the body belongs. Ultimately, it is concluded that the body is a product of material nature, and at the end, it merges into material nature. Therefore, the conclusion should be that the body belongs to material nature. One should not wrongly think that the body belongs to him. To maintain a false possession, why should one indulge in killing? Why should one kill innocent animals to maintain the body? So, what is the final conclusion? This is how Narada Muni is thinking, that ultimately the body belongs to material nature. One should not think that the body belongs to him. When a man is infatuated with the false prestige of opulence, he does not care for any moral instruction, but indulges in wine, women, and animal killing. In such circumstances, a poverty stricken man is often better situated, because a poor man thinks of himself in relation to other bodies. A poor man often does not wish to inflict injuries upon other bodies, because he can understand more readily that when he himself is injured, he feels pain. Therefore, the great sage Narada considered that because the demigods Nalakūvara and Maṇigrīva were so infatuated by false prestige, they should be put into a condition of life devoid of opulence. So here Narada Muni is thinking that, okay, if I want to give them the mercy, then they should be put in a condition that is devoid of opulence, where there is no opulence available to them. A person who has a pinprick in his body does not wish others to be pricked by pins. A considerate person in the life of poverty does not wish others to be also put into that condition. Generally, it is seen that one who has risen from a poverty stricken life and becomes wealthy creates some charitable institution at the end of his life, so that other poverty stricken men might be benefited. In short, a compassionate poor man may consider others' pains and pleasures with empathy. A poor man is seldom puffed up with false pride, and he may be freed from all kinds of infatuation. He may remain satisfied by whatever he gets for his maintenance by the grace of the Lord. To remain in the poverty stricken condition is a kind of austerity. According to Vedic culture, therefore, the Brahmanas, as a matter of routine, keep themselves in a poverty-stricken condition to save themselves from the false prestige of material opulence. False prestige due to advancement of material prosperity is a great impediment for spiritual emancipation. A poverty-stricken man cannot become unnaturally fat by eating more and more, and on account of not being able to eat more than he requires, his senses are not very turbulent. When the senses are not very turbulent, he cannot become violent. So, see, the Brahmanas we discussed previously, that the duty of the Brahmana, yes, they have to receive charity and they also give charity. If they receive more than what they need for their basic maintenance, then they have to give it away in charity. That is their duties. Because so therefore, by accepting only what they need for their bare maintenance, then they are protecting themselves from, they are maintaining themselves in a poverty stricken condition, and they protect themselves from getting into any kind of false prestige by not having this material opulences. Another advantage of poverty is that a saintly person can easily enter a poor man's house, and thus the poor man can take advantage of the saintly person's association. A very opulent man does not allow anyone to enter his house. Therefore, the saintly person cannot enter. According to the Vedic system, a saintly person takes the position of a mendicant, so that on the plea of begging something from the householder, he can enter any house. The householder, who has usually forgotten everything about spiritual advancement because he is busy maintaining family affairs, can be benefited by the association of a saintly person. Thus there is a great chance for the poor man to become liberated through association with a saint. Of what use are persons who are puffed up with material opulence and prestige if they are bereft of the association of saintly persons and devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So, see, poor people, they very readily and they have their doors open always to receive saintly persons. And saintly persons, they go begging door to door. Why? Not because they want to receive something, but because they want to give their association to these other grihastas, householders. So they go begging on the pretext of giving them their association so that the opposite party can be spiritually benefited. But these saintly people, they cannot go to the homes of rich people. If they go there, then they will be charged for trespassing, that you are trespassing on private property, or the security guards will not allow them to enter. So this is another advantage, that poor people, they very easily, very readily, very happily receive saintly people in their homes, and they get spiritually benefited. The great sage Narada, therefore, thereafter thought that it was his duty to put these demigods into a condition where they could not be falsely proud of their material opulence and prestige. Narada was compassionate and wanted to save them from their fallen life. They were in a mode of darkness, and being therefore unable to control their senses, they were addicted to sex life. It was the duty of a saintly person like Narada to save them from their abominable condition. In animal life, the animal has no sense to understand that he is naked. But Kuvera was a treasurer of the demigods, a very responsible man, and Nalakūvara and Maṇigrīva were two of his sons, and yet they became so animalistic and irresponsible that they could not understand, due to intoxication, that they were naked. To cover the lower part of the body is a principle of human civilization, and when men or women forget this principle, they become no better than animals. Narada therefore thought that the best punishment for them was to make them immovable living entities, or trees. Trees by nature's laws immovable. Trees are by nature's laws immovable. Although trees are covered by the mode of ignorance, they cannot do harm. The great sage Narada thought it befitting that although the brothers would be punished to become trees, by his mercy they would continue to keep their memory and be able to know why they were being punished. After changing the body, a living entity generally forgets his previous life, but in special cases, by the grace of the Lord, as with Nalakūvara and Maṇigrīva, one can remember. So this is exactly what we were discussing when Shreya asked the question. So generally, one cannot remember, but by the grace of the Lord, in special cases, one may be allowed to remember his previous life. So this was the case with Nalakūvara and Maṇigrīva. So although they were cursed to become trees by Narada Muni, and that curse was actually a blessing in disguise, in the tree body, they were allowed to remember their previous life. Sage Narada therefore contemplated that the two demigods should remain for 100 years in the time of the demigods in the form of trees, and after that they would be fortunate enough to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face by his causeless mercy. And thus they would be again promoted to the life of the demigods and become great devotees of the Lord. After this, the great sage Narada returned to his abode, known as Narayana Ashrama, and the two demigods turned into trees, known as twin Arjuna trees. The two demigods were favored by the causeless mercy of Narada and given a chance to grow in Nanda's courtyard and see Lord Krishna face to face. So, for what period of time Narada Muni has cursed them to become trees?
100 years.
100 years.
100 years of
100 years,
devatas.
demigod years.
Demigod.
100 demigod years, no? That is important
100
data to
demigod.
remember. 100 demigod years. So, how much is 100 demigod years in human years? We have done this before.
Mataji, one demigod year is equal to 12,000 years.
No, our 1 year. 1 year is there 1 day, right?
Say 12 hours of the demigod. One demigod day is 6 months on earth.
Yeah.
So, one demigod year is 360 human years. And so 100 demigod years, you multiply 360 into 100, that will give you 36,000 human years. Okay, so for 36,000 human years, Narada Muni cursed Nalakūvara and Maṇigrīva that they have to be as trees. But do they just have to remain as trees anywhere, any random place? Where are they going to remain as trees?
No, they were in the
Nanda
courtyard of
Maharaj's
Nanda
courtyard, because
Maharaj.
that was where Krishna would be.
Yes, exactly. So he cursed them, or rather, he blessed them to become trees in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj so that they can see Krishna face to face. So, although child Krishna was bound up to the wooden mortar, so remember now Krishna is bound up to the wooden mortar, no? So, although child Krishna was bound up to the wooden mortar, he began to proceed toward the twin trees in order to fulfill the prophecy of his great devotee Narada. Lord Krishna knew that Narada was his great devotee and that the trees standing before him as twin Arjuna trees were actually the sons of Kuvera. I must now fulfill the words of my great devotee Narada, he thought. Then he proceeded towards the passage between the two trees. Although he was able to pass through the passage, the large wooden mortar stuck horizontally between the trees. Taking advantage of this with great strength, Lord Krishna began to pull the rope which was tied to the mortar. As soon as he pulled, the two trees with all their branches and limbs fell down with a great sound. Out of the broken fallen trees came two great personalities shining like blazing fire. All sides became illuminated and beautiful by their presence. The two purified personalities immediately came before child Krishna and bowed down to offer their respects and prayers in the following words. So Krishna then, he goes between these two trees. He is still tied up to the mortar. The mortar gets stuck between the two trees. Krishna pulls and then the two trees come crashing down. Now, why did Krishna deliver Maṇigrīva and Nalakūvara? Did they do any bhakti? Did they do any devotional service?
No, because Narada Muni cursed them and Krishna wanted to keep the words of Naradas because he was a devotee of Krishna.
Exactly. No, see, Krishna here, he has nothing to do with Maṇigrīva and Nalakūvara actually. But because Krishna wants to fulfill the desire of his devotee Narada, therefore Krishna delivers Maṇigrīva and Nalakūvara. And this is what our spiritual masters do for us. No, our spiritual masters are playing the role of what Narada Muni did. Nalakūvara and Maṇigrīva, they did not have the qualification to be delivered, if you see from the external angle of vision. And in Kali Yuga, we have so many faults. No, in Kali Yuga, we are committing so many sins knowingly, unknowingly, and there are so many faults. This Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults. So the spiritual master, because the spiritual master, a pure devotee, recommends to Krishna, then Krishna will take us back, even though we may lack the qualification, because Krishna wants to fulfill the desire of his devotees. So because Krishna wants to fulfill Narada Muni's desire, therefore he delivers Maṇigrīva and Nalakūvara. Yeah, Shailesh, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, I wanted to ask two questions again. One was that, where is Narayana Ashrama? It was there on the previous slide. So Narad Muni goes back to Narayana Ashrama. So is it in Bhulok, is it in Vaikuntha, or is it still on the earthly plane? And the second thing was that, Nalakūvara and his brother, when they were cursed, was it instant that that very instant they became the twins, or how did it?
Okay, so this is not described exactly because I even researched where is Narayana Ashrama, but I was not able to get an answer from the database. So
Okay.
actually, Narada Muni, he does not remain in one place. No, he keeps traveling. He's the celestial spaceman, and he keeps moving to different places. So at that particular time, where was his ashram? Where was he residing? I don't know. I was not able to get any information, so I'm not able to answer your question. And what was your second question?
When Nalakūvara were cursed,
If they came down instantly. So yeah, even that is not that is not described. So if I don't know if it happened immediately or after some time, I don't know. I've not read about it. Okay. All right. Dear Lord Krishna, you are the original personality of Godhead, master of all mystic powers. Learned Brahmanas know very well that this cosmic manifestation is an expansion of your potencies, which are sometimes manifest and sometimes unmanifest. You are the original provider of the life, body, and senses of all living entities. You are the eternal God, Lord Vishnu, who is all pervading, the imperishable controller of everything, and you are eternal time. You are the original source of cosmic manifestation, which is acting under the spell of the three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Who is speaking these lines?
Nalakūvara and
Nalakūvara.
They are offering prayers. No, they're offering prayers to Krishna after they have come out of those trees. You are living as a super soul in all the multi forms of living entities, and you know very well what is going on within their bodies and minds. Therefore, you are the supreme director of all activities of all living entities. But although you are in the midst of everything which is under the spell of the material modes of nature, you are not affected by such contaminated qualities. No one under the jurisdiction of the material modes can understand your transcendental qualities which existed before the creation. Therefore, you are called the Supreme Transcendence. Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of you, Lord Vasudev, the Supreme Brahman, who are always glorified by your personal internal potencies. In this material world, you make yourself known only by your different incarnations. Although you assume different types of bodies, these bodies are not part of the material creation. They are always full of the transcendental potencies of unlimited opulence, strength, beauty, fame, wisdom, and renunciation. In the material existence, there is a difference between the body and the owner of the body, but because you appear in your original spiritual body, there is no such difference for you. When you appear, your uncommon activities indicate that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such uncommon activities are not possible for anyone in material existence. You, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, cause the birth and death as well as the liberation of the living entities, and you are full with all your plenary expansions. You can bestow on everyone all kinds of benedictions. So Krishna can bestow on everyone all kinds of benediction. It's not that Krishna can only give you spiritual blessing or he can only give you material blessing, but he can give you all kinds of blessings, all kinds of blessings. But Krishna, because he's very merciful, he gives you the highest or the best blessings, which is good for your spiritual well-being, which is good for your spiritual well-being. Even if you approach Krishna with a material desire, Krishna will fulfill your material desire, but only after he first purifies your heart. For example, we see in the pastime of Dhruv. Now, Dhruv Maharaj had the desire that I want a kingdom even greater than that of Lord Brahma. Because, see, Dhruva was sitting on his father's lap, and his stepmother told him that you cannot sit on on his lap. You have to take birth from my womb if you want that facility, she told him. So that time Dhruva was very, very disturbed, and he said, I want a kingdom greater than that of even Lord Brahma. So with that material desire, he went in search of the Lord, and he engaged in meditation, austerities. And eventually, when the Lord appeared in front of him, Lord Vishnu came in front of him. He gave him a planet even higher than that of Lord Brahma. But then when he actually got that benediction, he said that, no, now I realize that what I was praying for was just broken pieces of glass, Dhruva says. No, it was just broken pieces of glass that he was desiring. Because what more can what can be more sweeter than having the personal darshan of the Lord? What can be more sweeter than uh, uh, having love for Godhead? And here he said that when I was desiring for this kingdom, I was only praying for some broken pieces of glass. So yes, Lord Vishnu gave him what he wanted. He got a planet higher than that of Lord Brahma. He got Dhruva Loka, which is a spiritual planet within the material realm. So so that is even better than Brahma's planet, because Brahma's planet gets destroyed at the time of destruction. No, but this Dhruva Loka is a spiritual planet within the material world, so that is not destroyed even when there is complete destruction. So yes, Dhruva got his material desire fulfilled by Lord Krishna, but before he gave him the desire, he purified his heart. So Krishna, he's the highest of the bestowers of benediction, because he gives you the best blessings. He gives you the best benedictions. Krishna's one name is Varada Ishwarat. Varada Ishwarat. Varada Ishwarat means he gives you the best blessings. He is the highest of the bestowers of blessings. Krishna can also give you liberation. No? We saw somewhere here that Krishna can give you liberation. What name of Krishna means that he's the giver of liberation?
Mukunda.
Mukunda, yes. Krishna's one name is Mukunda, which means that he is the giver of liberation. O Lord, O source of all auspicious and goodness, we offer our respectful obeisances unto you. You are the all-pervading Supreme Personality of Godhead, the supreme source of peace, and the supreme personality in the dynasty of King Yadu. O Lord, our Father, known as Kuvera, the demigod, is your servant. Similarly, the great sage Narada is also your servitor, and only by their grace have we been able to see you personally. We therefore pray that we may always be engaged in your transcendental loving service by speaking only about your glories and hearing about your transcendental activities. May our hands and other limbs be engaged in your service, and our minds always be concentrated at your lotus feet, and our heads always bowed down before the all-pervading universal form of your Lordship. When the demigods Nalakūvara and Maṇigrīva finished their prayers, the child Lord Krishna, the master and proprietor of Gokula, bound to the wooden grinding mortar by the ropes of Yashoda, smiled and said, It was already known to me that my great devotee Narada Muni had shown his causeless mercy by saving you from the abominable condition of pride due to possessing extraordinary beauty and opulence in a family of demigods. He has saved you from gliding down into the lowest condition of hellish life. All these facts are already known to me. So remember, Krishna, he has brought the two trees down, but he is still bound to the grinding mortar. That rope has not broken. No, that rope. The trees have come crashing down, but that rope is still there. So Krishna is still bound to that grinding mortar. You are very fortunate, because not only were you cursed by him, but you had the great opportunity to see him. If someone is able by chance to see face to face a great saintly person like Narada, who is always serene and merciful to everyone, then immediately that conditioned soul becomes liberated. This is exactly like being situated in the full light of the sun. There cannot be any visionary impediment. Therefore, O Nalakūvara and Maṇigrīva, your lives have now become successful because you have developed ecstatic love for me. This is your last birth within material existence. Now you can go back to your father's residence in the heavenly planets, and by remaining in the attitude of devotional service, you will be liberated in this very life. So this is what Krishna is telling them, that now you go back to heavenly planets, to your father's residence. You go back to Swarga, and there in Swarga, by remaining in the attitude of devotional service, you will be liberated in this very life. So they don't have to take another birth in the material realm again. From there, they will be promoted, they will be liberated in this very life, Krishna says. After this, the demigods circumambulated the Lord many times and bowed down before him again and again, and thus they left. The Lord remained bound up with ropes to the grinding mortar. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 10th chapter of Kṛṣṇa, the deliverance of Nalakūvara and Maṇigrīva. So see, from this pastime we can see how Kṛṣṇa is both Bhakta Vatsala and Kripana Vatsala. Yes, he is Bhakta Vatsala. He agreed to be bound by Kṛṣṇa. He agreed to be bound by Mother Yashoda because he is merciful to his devotees. But he is also Kripana Vatsala. He even delivered Nalakūvara and Maṇigrīva. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, yes, many times Kṛṣṇa is referred to as Bhakta Vatsala, but there are also many times when Kṛṣṇa is referred to as Kripana Vatsala. Kripana Vatsala. Even the fallen conditioned souls are also very dear to Kṛṣṇa. So Kṛṣṇa is both Bhakta Vatsala as well as Kripana Vatsala. This Damodar Leela is a Leela that has all 5 rasas. We have discussed previously that there are 5 rasas, 5 mellows of relationship that one shares with Krishna. Shanta rasa, Dasya rasa, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. Neutral, servant, friendship, parental and conjugal. So this is a Leela that has all 5 rasas. So when I say this Leela, it includes the previous chapter and this chapter, okay? So can you tell me who in this Leela was in Shantarasa with Krishna? Neutral. What was boiling on the gas stove? In the later.
The milk.
The milk, no? The milk. Dasya ras.
Nalakūvara.
Nalakūvara and Maṇigrīva, yes, very nice. Because they are offering
Okay.
respectful obeisances to Krishna. So Dasya ras, very nice. Sakhya ras, friendship.
I know only
The
Arjun.
monkeys.
No, in this Leela.
The monkeys.
The monkeys, yes, very nice. The monkeys, because he is feeding the butter to the monkeys. And so there is this friendship between Krishna and the monkeys. Then parental?
Mother Yashoda.
Yashoda Mata.
Yes,
Yashoda.
of course, Mother Yashoda. And Madhura ras?
Well, what does
Mother Yashoda?
Srimati Radharani.
Srimati Radharani. No, previously we discussed how actually Srimati Radharani bound Krishna in Goloka. And that's where he was bound, and that's where he got the name Damodar. But then this name Damodar was manifested here on this planet after Mother Yashoda tied him. So therefore, this is a rasa that has this is a Leela that has all the 5 rasas. All the 5 rasas.
I have a question.
Yes.
What does conjugal mean?
Conjugal means in a loving relationship, like lovers.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So we see here how important it is to have devotee association. How just by a moment's association with Narada Muni, Nalakūvara and Maṇigrīva were delivered. No, so our Shastras explain again and again. They tell us about how crucial it is for us to have devotee association at all times. So there is one verse here from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sadhu Sangha Sarva Shastra Kai, Lava Matra Sadhu Sange Sarva Siddhi Hai. The verdict of all revealed scriptures, Sarva Shastra Kai, no, the verdict of all revealed scriptures is what? That even by a moment's association with a pure devotee, even by a moment's lava matra means lava means 1/11th of a second. So lava matra sadhu sangha, even by 1/11th of a second of association with a pure devotee, one can attain all success. Sarva siddhi, one can attain all success. So as far as possible, we must always remain in devotee association. So there is this another verse from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is speaking to Sri Rupa Goswami. He says, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bij. According to their karma, all living entities are wandering throughout the entire universe. Some of them are being elevated to the upper planetary systems and some of them are going down to the lower planetary systems. And out of many millions of wandering living entities, one who is very fortunate gets an opportunity to associate with a bona fide spiritual master by the grace of Krishna. So, Kona Bhagyavan, one Bhagyavan Jiva out of all these millions of them who are in the Brahmanda, Brahmite, who are wandering all over this universe. One Bhagyavan, one very fortunate Jiva, one very fortunate soul, he will get an opportunity to associate with a bona fide spiritual master by the grace of Krishna. See, the word prasad means mercy. So, by the mercy of Krishna, Krishna Prasade, one gets a guru. By the mercy of both Krishna and the spiritual master, such a person receives the seed of the creeper of devotional service. So, what does he receive? Paya, what does he receive? The Bhakti Lata Bij. Bhakti Lata Bij means he receives the seed of the creeper of devotional service. So, what does the spiritual master do? The spiritual master plants the seed of bhakti in our hearts. No, he plants the seed. Now it is up to us to take care of the seed, to water the seed. And when the seed is watered, then the creeper grows. It grows more and more and more. It grows, crosses all through the higher planetary systems, crosses the material universe, and goes right up to the spiritual realm, to the feet of Lord Sri Krishna. So the spiritual master, he plants the seed. If there is no seed, only what are we going to get? Nothing, right? We need the seed first of all. So who plants the seed in our hearts? That seed is planted by the spiritual master, Bhakti Lata Bij. He plants the seed. But once the spiritual master plants the seed, we should not let the seed dry up. No, we have to water it. The seed should be taken care of. Then only it will grow into a nice tree. So that creeper should be regularly watered by us, by our sadhana. So Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. In the Adi Purana, there is a following statement by Lord Krishna himself addressed to Arjuna. My dear Partha, one who claims to be my devotee is not so. Only a person who claims to be the devotee of my devotee is actually my devotee. So Krishna is saying, if you cannot directly become my devotee, you become a devotee of my devotee. So no one can approach the spiritual personality of Godhead directly. One must approach him through his pure devotees. Therefore, in the system of Vaishnava activities, the first duty is to accept a devotee as a spiritual master and then render service unto him. So one must not think that, oh, I can directly get Krishna. No. So because Krishna himself is saying that one who is a devotee of my devotee is actually my devotee. So when one surrenders to a bona fide spiritual master, then through the bona fide spiritual master, one can surrender to Krishna. With this, by the mercy of Sri Guru and Sri Krishna, we come to the end of today's presentation. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Thank you, Mataji. Koti Koti Danvat Pranam to your sincere Siva. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki Jai. Anant Koti Danvat Pranam to Acharya Jai Pataka Maharaj.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for giving us your sweet association. Do we have any questions or comments? Yes, Shailesh?
Does it say anywhere what caused the change in Nalakūvara and his brother? Because you just get that they became the trees, and then once the trees were collapsed by Lord Krishna, we get to see that they have a complete change of heart. Is there anything described that they went through some experience that helped them, or?
See, because when they were in the body of the tree, they were allowed to remember their past life. So in the body of the tree, they were able to remember what mistake they did in the past and what is the reason that now they are in the body of the tree. So that was their period of purification. No, that was their purificatory process. Those 100 demigod years, they are going through the purification and they are allowed to remember the past life. So they are able to learn from their past mistakes. And of course, when they are offering prayers to Krishna, you can see how they are glorifying Krishna and they have a proper understanding of Krishna, and they also seek, they are also praying to Krishna, no, that please allow us to engage in your service. So they have come to that realization. It's very evident from the prayers that they are offering to Krishna that now they have atoned for their past sinful activities for whatever offenses they have committed in the past, and their repentance is real. And that period that they went through, 100 demigod years, that was their period of atonement. And from their prayers, it is evident that there is a change of heart, because now their desire is that I want to serve Krishna. Their desire is no more material sense gratification.
I'm sorry, I have one more question.
Yes.
But what I was saying is that it says that if Lord Krishna says that if someone says that you are my devotee, he is my devotee, he has to be first a devotee of my devotee. So how do you find a true devotee? Because Lord Krishna knows. How do we know?
Yeah, so the Shastras give you guidelines. And once Srila Prabhupada was asked this question, and then Srila Prabhupada said, find that person who is most attached to Krishna. A bona fide guru, Prabhupada said, a bona fide guru is not one who will say that I am God, or who will tell you that I will make you God. A bona fide guru is he who says that I am a servant of God and I will make you also a servant of God. So when you hear lectures, you see if the bona fide guru, I mean, if you see the person is speaking from the Shastra, is speaking from disciplic succession, is repeating the words of Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, then you know that the person is bona fide. Then you know that the person is not going to cheat you. If the person is going to tell you, because unfortunately in India there are many people who say, okay, I'll give you a mantra, you are safe, you can eat. There are many such people, no, who say that, oh, you can eat meat, you can drink whiskey, you can gamble, but you chant this mantra, you're safe. No, because that's not Shastric. That's not Shastric. So a guru is that person who will not twist the words of the Shastra to please you. A guru, you have to find a guru who shows you the way. Don't find a guru who sanctions your way. So when you hear, then you know that whether this person is bona fide or not bona fide. And of course, in ISKCON, we have some 100 bona fide gurus, and you can choose which guru you feel more attracted towards. Okay, so it's not an impossible task. Fortunately, we still have bona fide gurus. You just have to pray to Krishna. When you are sincere and you seek out, then Krishna will send you a bona fide guru. Okay, if you are bona fide, if you are sincere, then Krishna will send you a sincere bona fide guru. Okay, how do
Mataji,
you have your
Hare
hand raised?
Krishna.
Sorry?
Mataji,
Yes,
Hare
Lavina.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
That means when the trees came into life as demigods, they knew that the little child was Krishna because the way they were praying to him and
Yes.
singing in his praise. That means they
Yes.
knew he was Krishna.
Yes, they knew. Definitely, yes, they knew. They were aware. Yes.
Because they had the past memory, and Nanda Maharaj told them that only when you see Krishna, you will come into your.
Not Nanda Maharaj, Narada Muni had told them. Yes, yes. They
Sorry.
had their past
Sorry.
life memories. Yes,
Yeah.
therefore they knew. Correct, correct. That's right.
Okay.
Okay, Aja, you have your hand raised?
Yes, Mataji. My question is, it's about after death and reincarnation. My understanding is, we are, if we are not a devotee, a regular human being, we will have good actions and bad actions. So once you finish, when you have good action, this is what my understanding is. Okay, we will be in some place similar to Surgaloga based on our action, and we will go back to the Naragalog once you finish all the good things, right? So in case of devotee, all our bad karmas, if you're a devotee, everything will be taken off, right? The bad karmas. So at that time, we still have only very few good karmas, right? We are good devotees, but the karma, you had to do good stuff for the society. Is that what we had to do? And also, when you reach, once that is over in the Surgalok, do we immediately take birth? So it's a short period of time. So we are coming back in a very short period of time.
See, devotional service or bhakti does not only take away your bad karma, it also takes your good karma. It takes all your good and bad karma. Because good karma also will tie you down in this material world. You will go to Swarga, but we don't want to go to Swarga. Devotion means we want to go to the spiritual realm, not to heavenly planets, not to Swarga Loka. So, devotional service, bhakti will take your good and bad karmas. It will only take into account your devotional service, your bhakti activities.
Okay. And okay, so then, so in this life itself, if I will all my past bad karmas, everything is taken off, then I will stay. If I continue doing, I will stay in Sorgalok, and from there I go to the higher level and reach the. That's what you're saying. If I continue.
No, but why, if you do devotional service, why will you go to Swargaloka? Why do you want to go to Swargaloka and then go to spiritual realm? You can directly go to the
Oh,
spiritual realm,
okay.
no?
Oh, I was thinking, okay, so,
You
okay,
don't have to necessarily go to Swargaloka before going to go. I mean, you can if that's your desire, but why?
I think
okay,
she's
so from Sorga,
saying
okay,
whether
so from the
it is
spiritual
possible to
realm,
bypass.
okay, from spiritual realm, do we come back? No. Once, so
No.
if I, okay, in this life, okay, I'm just doing whatever, I'm just doing bhakti sadhana, and I just go directly to, if I think about at the time of death, if I'm thinking about Krishna, I will go to the spiritual realm, right?
Right.
And I won't come back. That's what you're saying. That's it. Then I won't come back to this material world. Then from there I just grow. Okay.
That's not what I am saying. That's what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. He promises once you come to the spiritual realm, then you will not come back again. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Krishna promises that in the Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
Okay, Shreya?
Yes, Mataji. So that's but so you know how they say that if you see Jagannath on the chariot, or if you just pull the ropes of the Rath, you will surpass this birth and death.
Yes.
So is it that easy? Like, I mean, anybody can do that, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
but you have to see Jagannath on the chariot. You don't see wooden dolls on the chariot. How are you seeing what you are seeing?
But
You
how is that
understand? Because
easy?
a person, a non-devotee may see, oh, these are wooden dolls, painted dolls. One has a black painted face, one has yellow, one has white. What are you seeing? Are you seeing Jagannath? Are you seeing the Lord? With that realization, you're seeing him on the chariot. How are you seeing those? What is your, you have to see Jagannath on the chariot. That's what that line means.
So like as practicing, or as beginner devotees, we know that they are not wooden, just like wooden deities or anything. They are actually, it's actually the Lord of the universe.
Actually, yeah, that's the Lord himself there on that chariot. Are we seeing him with that vision? Sometimes even as devotees, we may not see him as the Supreme Personality of God. Sometimes we are right in front of the chariot and we are gossiping about some, I don't know, something else. Are you actually seeing the Lord on the chariot? Think about it.
So that can only be seen by like really great devotees, right?
Exactly,
Like,
yes. So yeah, so then of course, then you will go back to the spiritual realm. Why not?
Right?
Yes.
Got it.
Okay.
In that case, I'm not that great devotee. I may not be. Consider that idol as God, but I don't know. I'm completely. It's God is standing there. I'm not. I'm being true. Okay, so in that case, I will not go to spiritual realm. Then I will come back.
Okay, but you still have time to perfect your life. Every day, 16 rounds, 4 regular principles, spiritual master. Even if you're not qualified, if you have a bona fide spiritual master, and if you're fulfilling the promise that you did to your spiritual master, he will get you in through the back door, even if you're not qualified. See, yesterday I was giving a class and I told them in the class also, and I think I mentioned in my online class also, that there are two ways to get into a prestigious institution. One is through your merits, and the other is through recommendation, right? So merits we may lack. Now you are saying that you are lacking the merits, but let me tell you, most of us are lacking the merits. I include myself here. I am lacking so many merits to go into the spiritual world. But because I have accepted a bona fide spiritual master by the mercy of Krishna, And because I'm trying to fulfill the instructions that my spiritual master has given me, so even though I'm lacking the qualification, my spiritual master will get me in through the back door, because Krishna will let you in even though you are not qualified, because his pure devotee desires that for you. Like in the case of Nalakūvara, Maṇigrīva, and Narada Muni. So don't worry that you're lacking qualifications. You just focus on accepting a bona fide spiritual master and fulfilling the instructions of the spiritual master. That will get you to the spiritual realm.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, anything else? Are we ready for the exam?
Yes.
Okay.
Mataji, one question.
Yes.
Sorry. Can you give example of the Bhakta Vasala and the Kripa Vasala?
When Krishna allowed Yashoda to tie him to the rope, he's showing that he is Bhakta Vatsala. And when he delivers Nalakūvara and Maṇigrīva, then he's showing that he's also Kripana Vatsala. Because he's also delivering the conditioned souls. Okay, Kripana Vatsala means even the fallen conditioned souls are very dear to Krishna. And Bhakta Vatsala means the devotees are very dear to Krishna. So he's
Thank you.
showing that he's both Bhakta Vatsala as well as Kripana Vatsala in this pastime.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, the link to your exam is coming up in your chat right now. There goes.
Can you pose the question again? I'm not able to see the question.
Okay. Have shared it now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.